Traxis.
I know if I ever had to answer how many times people have asked me why coffee, I'll probably be the richest woman in the world. We are a coffee-centered solution company, and what we do is we look at the Nigerian market and see the best possible ways for us to use our coffee products, thinking of how our consumers are able to access coffee equipment. We have the instant coffee for our stronger coffee consumers. You want to travel and you still want your Nigerian coffee, you could throw it in your handbag. I always have one in my handbag. My name is Princess Adeyinka Tekena. I'm the founder and Chief Happiness Officer at Happy Coffee. Happy Coffee is an indigenous Nigerian coffee brand. Coffee is the second most drank drink in the world after water, the second most traded commodity after oil. From the past 10 years, we have been curating coffee-centered solutions within the Nigerian coffee value chain. It'll interest you to know that 22 states in Nigeria do grow coffee, but like I said earlier, a lot of that coffee goes to waste. And it's because major players in the market import the coffee that is being consumed by Nigerians. And what that means is we have heavy wastage within our value chain. There's a lot of farmer apathy. Farmers are not willing to farm coffee, which is well understood. For us at Happy Coffee, like I said, in the past 10 years, we have been creating solutions which has brought us to 4 very critical parts of our business. One, we have an active coffee brand that is able to create mobile experiences for the Nigerian consumer. Because Nigerians love parties, we love that advent to, congregate. We're able to create a brand that goes out there that shares coffee experiences with Nigerians. If I ever had to answer how many times people have asked me why coffee, I'll probably be the richest woman in the world. But sometime in 2003, I read a book. The book was about the founder of the largest and the biggest coffee brand in the world. And that book struck a chord. The way he transformed the coffee culture as we know it today and the cafe culture, the way he treated his team. Today they have over 30,000 stores. I was so impressed. And that kind of left a mark in my heart. And I told myself, that if I ever had the opportunity to start a business in my future, it would be in coffee. And that was how, I just left it, went about my life, trying to graduate from college. And when I eventually finished in 2009, I took a one-way ticket back to Nigeria. Everybody thought that was weird, but I've always had an immense love for my country. And I felt like some of us had to go back home to be part of that nation building process. Anyway, when I came back, I worked with the company for a while. I was selling electronics, yes. I sold TVs and ACs. And then after that, I had worked with the local government as well. I was a special assistant, helping that local government to create opportunities for young people. And on that journey, something happened. I was on the internet. I know a lot of people browse the internet, but I'm one person, I'm always looking for opportunities. So one day I was on the internet, it was Bella Niger at that point, and there was an opportunity for African entrepreneurs to apply for a funding if they had an idea that could transform the continent. And I felt this was my time. I went ahead and applied for that. And voila, I was one of the first 1,000 Africans to receive funds from the Tinilimilu Foundation and a 3-month training program. And I'm pointing at 3 months training program because at that point, I had never run a business. So that 3 months training and mentorship was very critical. And that was how Happy Coffee started. Taraba is one of the most beautiful states or places I've ever been. I mean, I'll share that story. But when we started the business in 2016, officially, we started sourcing coffee from a local roaster in Nigeria at the point. Her business was roasting Nigerian coffee, and that was how Happy Coffee started, sourcing local coffee from her until our year 6, where one, we needed to backward integrate as a business. We wanted to bring great coffee to our customers at a great price, and we're not going to be able to do that if we were sourcing locally roasted coffee. So that was how the Taraba journey started. And for a few years now, Taraba State, literally the farmers have been doing a bit of work in improving the quality of the coffee that comes from Taraba. I also had to visit some of those farms. One of the most stressful but most rewarding trips I've ever taken as a founder. I remember going to Jalingo in Taraba State, and it took me 10 hours from Jalingo to Gembu to the Mambila Plateau where our coffee actually comes from. Maybe just to even share more light on that, like I said, 22 states in Nigeria grow coffee. States like Abia, Imo, the South, Southwest, Oyo, Ogun, all of these states grew coffee. But like I said earlier in our days as a business, we started with Taraba. We've maintained our work with them also. And they've also done a lot of work in improving the quality of the coffee that we get from Taraba. Coffee is actually a fruit. Yes, coffee is actually a fruit. It comes like a cherry, and it's in that cherry that you find the coffee beans. So the coffee that you drink today actually comes from a bean. There's a farm process to how we extract the beans from the cherry, and then it's being roasted. From roasting, then we grind and then make all the drinks and all the beautiful things that come with coffee. I know that a lot of Nigerians contact with coffee is just in drinking, but coffee actually extends herself to other things like beauty care. In our value chain, and some of our suppliers actually beauty chain owners who use coffee for coffee soaps, coffee skin care, like coffee creams, coffee oils, beard oils as well. And I'm not saying this just because I'm Nigerian. I drink Nigerian coffee all the time, and I can tell you, when we sent our coffee to labs, we sent it to a lab in Ethiopia, we sent it to a lab in the UK, the first thing they would say is it has a chocolatey undertone. And it's because over the years, when we were growing coffee in the early 70s, we were growing it side by side with cocoa. So we already have the requirements to be topping the chart, like we're topping it with music. You know, 10 years ago when I started this business, people thought I was joking. A lot of people didn't take me seriously. People thought, why would an American graduate? I graduated with first class, you know, with everything that I went through. Why would I be carrying pots and pans saying I was making a drink? What is coffee? You know, there wasn't deep understanding of what I wanted to do. But 10 years down the line, I can tell you that, number one, Happy Coffee is not just a lifestyle. It's actually a cultural revolution. We're building a brand that will rival first any brand in the world. I believe that Africans, Nigerians can build brands that can literally transform the continent. And that's why we're building Happy Coffee. And that's why even in our early years, when we struggled to raise funding, we're yet to raise funding. Everything that you see in this brand, I remember in our first year, we made 340,000 Naira the entire year. Today, we're making those numbers in one transaction, not even one day, one transaction. We're making those numbers. I remember going to pitching to a lot of people, and they would tell me, you know, you have a great idea, but we don't see how this idea is going to pivot in Nigeria. And 10 years down the line, we can literally tell you that from a single idea, we have built a brand that, one, it's $1 billion business. If you know coffee around the world, you know how powerful the coffee culture is. You know, for us as a brand, I always believe in planning, preparation, meeting each other. And that's why Happy Coffee is certified. We have our NAFDAC certification. We have our FDA, which is an American certification. Our facility is certified. We have our ASIP. We also have our export certificate. And that also, it's in signal that we're looking to exporting Nigerian coffee as soon as those avenues are open, because there is one particular certification that we need as a country, which we do not have, and that has to be done by the Nigerian government, which is called the Certificate of Origin. Once that is in line, then Nigeria can actively now export Nigerian coffee, whether it's processed or our raw material. We'll be able to do that actively. So we are ready for the long-term game. So we're looking to build, our vision is within the next 2 to 3 years to build the largest processing center for coffee in Africa, here in Nigeria. So we can process more coffee, we can also package more coffee and ship it to the rest of the world. So that's what we're looking to do as a brand. We're also looking to improving our coffee experience. Currently we have 3, but our goal is to have 100 in the next 2 years. Put coffee experience centers, just not in Nigeria. But imagine going to Charles de Gaulle Airport and seeing a Happy Coffee stand. Good news, we just got approved for the national airport here in Lagos to put a coffee experience center there. And this is going to be our franchise model for our brand. So our goal is to create all this massive experiences, leveraging partnerships like what we're having with Mr. Olamide. We're looking for partnerships with bigger brands as well, so that we can expand our outlook of coffee and continue to grow the brand, not just for our sake, but for the economic benefit of Nigeria as a whole.
Traxis, showcasing African businesses and entrepreneurs that are changing the